What is special about existential risk from AI? In other words, once we have considered the general notion of existential risk and why it could be a problem, why would we now be puzzled and specifically worried by how AI could pose existential threats to humanity? And this paper in the edited volume about the ethics of AI, the paper is called Artificial Intelligence as a Positive and Negative Factor in Global Risk, does a very good job illustrating the specific steps in understanding how AI is a different kind of global risk. And the first key claim is that unlike other risks that threaten humanity, we seem to underestimate how little we know about artificial intelligence systems. And why is that? As you know by now, we use LLMs. We have a lot of uncertainty about their inner workings, so there is that. But the systems that we're most worried about are systems we do not currently have. AGI, artificial general intelligence, super intelligence, really, really powerful models that are not available right now. Of course, the AI labs are working towards making these technologies happen. But what's really crucial to realize is that the systems that could pose existential risk do not exist, and the methodologies to study these systems obviously are not available. We don't really know much about it. So that's the first claim. We are in the dark and we're worried about future systems that would be extremely powerful, but there is no way to study these systems directly. And here in the diagram, you see how this AI as a global risk discussion has this positive dimension where it could solve problems, it could accelerate scientific progress, it could be a very positive factor indeed in the future of humanity. But at the same time, you see how the dangers of AI are so many and so complicated, even to summarize here. So you see the first point I emphasize, which is we really overestimate our understanding of artificial intelligence. We really struggle in these X-risk studies to assess, to assign probabilities of existential risk from AI. And as we will see in future weeks, the forecasting and the probabilities different researchers assign to AI posing existential risk are different, and there's really no consensus apart from, yes, this is something we have to look into, but you'll see how the research community is debating even the methods to use to study this as a problem. And there are so many misunderstandings, and there is a tendency on the one hand to try to humanize AI, this anthropomorphic bias to try to see the systems from a human point of view, but at the same time realizing that, wait a minute, even though they may have human-like capabilities in terms of what they can do cognitively, they're very different, they work in a very different way. But some other researchers might say, well, maybe they don't quite work in a much different way, because you can compare deep learning with how human brains work. So there's a whole debate on that, on the analogies and similarities between human cognition and AI cognition. And of course, the general problems surrounding the discussion about general intelligence. How do we even define general intelligence? Should we think of it in terms of what the average human can do? Some researchers right now claim that LLMs have already gotten to the level of the average human, and in certain cases surpass human level abilities. And speculating what greater than human intelligence would entail, again, these studies that have to do with forecasting both risks and capabilities, lots of disagreement there. And trying to think specifically about AI goals and AI agency and what would be the motivations of an AI, and trying to think of how the goals of humans could be installed into AI systems, and the systems would reliably perform what the developer wants it to do, which is the definition of the alignment problem, as you know. So all these spark very intense conversation about what we understand when it comes to AI and what we don't understand. And like I said earlier, it's so difficult to think concretely about this because the systems that would pose the risks that we're talking about, the global catastrophic risk, do not currently exist. So there's a lot of speculation here, and always keep that in mind. And Yudkowsky's proposal is, well, we need to create friendly AI. What does this mean? It's the kind of AI that would be aligned, value aligned, and would intend and would work towards human well-being and flourishing. But of course, this is not obvious because there are no reliable alignment techniques available at the moment. And this is what the field of AI safety is working on. How do we develop methods that reliably lead to human aligned AIs? And overall, the picture of existential risk arises out of this uncertainty and all of these heated debates on intelligence and how future AIs could evolve and how dangerous they would be and how autonomous they would be, and what would it take exactly to get to AIs that are not unpredictable, they're controllable, but at the same time they're very beneficial, they're friendly AIs, and they can do things that the average human cannot do. They can assist us with solving the big problems of humanity. So this is the context and the big picture for this week's reading and for trying to make sense of the debate on AI as a global catastrophic risk.